Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the First Class, Second Place podcast. I'm your host, Jason Enrique, and with me today, we got another very special guest in the building. We got none other than my homeboy, Speedy Sheppard. What's going on, Speedy?
What's going on, man? How you doing? How
Good,
you
man.
doing, man? Yo, man.
Oh, my pleasure for coming through, man.
For having me on the show.
Yeah, man.
I feel great. It's great to be here, man. It's great to be alive. And yeah, man, we out here.
Absolutely, man. Hey, listen, I allude to everybody that comes on the show that the name of the show is called First Class, Second Place, as you see on the T-shirt right now. Shout out to Kim. But we take pride in bringing first class people up into the building, to the room, man. So that should say a lot about why we wanted you on the show, man. Yeah. So welcome to the First Class family. And before we continue, I want to remind everybody that we are in lovely Garfield, New Jersey, at Bravery Studios. Shout out to Steve on the glass. Thank you very much, Steve. Everything you do, much appreciated, brother. All right, man. So yeah, let's get into it, man. So let me start off the show with a question that I ask everybody that comes on in the beginning. So where does the story of Speedy Shepard start? Like, where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in Passaic, New Jersey. Okay. I grew up in Aspen Place Projects, to be exact, and more specifically the trenches. You grew up in the projects, you grew up in the hood. That's what we call it. Right. It's a lot of difficulties living in there, and you have to find your way out. So the name Speedy came from football, really, but the reason why I started playing football was due to the fact that I needed an outlet when I was younger.
Right.
And where I was placed at, where I was located at, is either you become a product of that environment, or you do something conducive for yourself in your future, which is a sport or any type of activity that's positive. So. Right. Yeah, man.
That's usually like a common, a theme, for lack of a better term, when it comes to, growing up in those kind of environments. Like, it's either you got to find a niche, something that you're passionate about, or there's a street life where I know, unfortunately, that you did lose two siblings to the street life, unfortunately. Yes. They were, I mentioned, I think I heard in another podcast where, they were deep into that lifestyle, and then unfortunately they're no longer with us. But to my understanding, they were still great people. They were still your family members, and they're still looking down above you from as we speak right now.
Appreciate that, yeah, man. That right there, RIP to my siblings, my big brother and my other big sister. When you grow up in those environments, it's like you have those choices whether you want to become that or you want to do better than it. And it doesn't mean you're better than people. It's just you just did things different. I always say the phrase, I'm not better than anyone, I'm just different.
Right.
And I do what I do based on the fact that I had people like my brother and sister who had great talents, who could have been way more than they were, but they just never had someone tell them that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah.
Were these older or younger siblings, or what were they?
They were older. So my oldest brother, my father's son, he got murdered in the streets, and
I'm sorry.
My second older sister, she died by suicide.
Oh
yeah, man.
Wow, that's. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. But like I said, I like to believe that they're still with you from up above and watching down on you, and I think that with everything that you've been going through, as far as like not just from a content making standpoint, but I think that you have such a great head on your shoulders. I mean, when I look at you on your social medias, you're ever positive. You always have a great head on your shoulders. You have a lot of motivational speeches that you share to the world, and I know that you've done some seminars and so on and so forth. But the thing is that specifically with you, I mean, there's a lot of great people out there that are like that. But when I listen to you and when I watch you, and this is actually the first time I'm meeting you in person, but I felt your presence on social media and when we spoke on the phone and everything. Excuse me, but I really get a sense that this is something that you're passionate about, and you know what you're talking about, not just from life experience, but it just comes out of the goodness of your heart. I mean, it feels like you truly want to make the world a better place based on your experiences and all the trials and tribulations that you've gone through personally, not just with family members, but you personally, and you've been able to come out on top and basically show the world that there's a brighter side to life.
Thank you. I want to say thank you for the acknowledgement, and I also want to say you've been doing your homework, man. I see you've been doing your homework, and that's really good.
This is how we do it here, First Class, Second Place.
Right, man. And just to piggyback off that, and it's funny because I had therapy for 2 days already, right?
Right.
So that's another thing,
I'm a big proponent of therapy as well.
Right. So I've been in a therapy training holding peace circles and stuff like that. And we pretty much talked about what we're talking about right now. So everything is just full circle about finding your purpose. You know, my main thing in my life is the importance of purpose, right?
Right.
What is your incarnation's objective? What is your objective? What are you born here for? Because none of us are born for no reason. We're here for a reason. We're here to fulfill something. We just don't know what it is. It's up to us to figure that out and unlock that. So me finding that in my life, now all I'm going to be is the liaison, right? The bridge, the gap that's going to help others want to cultivate their clairvoyance and find their purpose in life. You know, I'm just a spark, bro. I look at myself as a spark on this earth. If me being an oracle for you is what I have to be, then so be it. Because all I'm doing is giving you some energy for it to resonate in your brain to go make the move that you know you really want to make. You know, and it's all part of my purpose. My purpose is to get you going. You know?
Who or what specifically gave you your spark to begin with?
Trauma. Trauma gave me the wherewithal to say, because like I know people always look down on trauma, but to a certain degree is needed because it gets you to transform. Through trauma you change,
right? Whether
it's negatively or positively. For me, I transmuted the negative energy and made it positive despite what I went through, because I already knew there's something beyond the smoke and smog that I'm going through. It's something beyond the cloudy weather and the rain that's raining on me in this world. Is a sun that shines 24/7 beyond that.
That's true.
So I have that in my head every time I'm going through something. Every time I know that something is happening in life, whether it's negative or positive, there's always this. The sun will never stop shining. I have that already imprinted in my brain, in my soul, in my heart. So I know that. So me going through what I went through, the trauma, right? All the stuff that I've gone through when I was a kid, up until this point now, still. I've always just said, you know what? It's easy to go the same way as the negativity. It's easy to do that. What's really challenging is to remain positive through all that negativity.
Right. And don't you feel like even though it's easy to be negative, there's basically, it's easy to be negative, but for some, ironically, it actually takes more energy out of you.
It does.
Isn't that the most ironic thing about it?
It's funny. Like you think it's easy, but what it's doing is bringing you more down into that energy field of negativity, which is way more draining.
Right.
Overall, like residually, is going to be way more draining for you, and then you won't have anything to draw from. When you have infinite positive energy, you can draw from it at will, at any time.
Right.
So that's what I did. Like I took my traumas and I said, you know what? I got to turn this trauma into triumph. I got to make sure that I don't bleed on people. Sometimes I know I know I'm not a perfect. I'm a human. Human error happens. You technically you do bleed on others when you're hurt. Hurt people do hurt people at times. But if you can hold yourself accountable, acknowledge the fact that you need work done on yourself, and you can make that, you can muster up the gumption and go fix that, then you'll say, all right, I'm probably halfway through my battle now because I already acknowledged it, and now I'm making the moves to go, better myself. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, round of applause real quick, Steve. Words of wisdom right there. I love to hear that, man. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And you know, what I also love about this a little bit of this progression that we're going through in this world right now, specifically with us as, minorities like blacks and Hispanics. I think we're realizing more than ever that seeking professional help or going to therapy or find something that is therapeutic for you is more prevalent than ever, because I feel like our generation before, and I mentioned this before on plenty of occasions on the show before that, past generations, it seemed like, for like especially black and Hispanic communities, it was more like if you wanted to do something along those lines, then it was looked at as a sign of weakness. I mean,
That's right.
They used to use that word shrink to, as a term, not of endearment, but for, for psychiatrists and
Yep.
people that are professionals.
Yep.
And it's now looked at as a negative connotation because they're not trying to, bring you down to the lowest common denominator. They're actually trying to help you with whatever past trauma that you've been through or what you're going through, this, that, and the third. And it's unbiased,
Yeah.
And I think that we're now finally realizing that it's not necessarily as taboo as it once was before.
It's not, because at the end of the day, like I said, humans go through it. We
Right.
suffer on a daily, whether people know it or not. We suffer, and in that, the only way this world can continue is if we have each other, right? We all know that. There's no man without a woman, and vice versa.
Right.
Everybody's connected in a way. So why not talk about, back in the tribal days, way back in the ancient times, we had tribes.
Mm-hmm.
That means we moved as a tribe, which means we all helped each other do anything, no matter what it was.
Right.
Look at today. There's nothing like that anymore. And
No.
if it is, it's on a really smaller scale that we don't see or know about. And there's people in groups and families helping each other proudly. It's like they make helping people so difficult.
Yeah.
Like, helping people is priceless. It has no price on it. So when you go to therapy, when you help yourself, when you do things to help heal the traumatic debt that you are given from generations before, you're doing your bloodline a great service by fixing that up.
Yeah, and I'm totally in lockstep with you because I'm going to share something that I actually, tweeted out today and also put on threads on social media, Enrique _ where you can follow everybody. And but I wrote down, people have been saying that I've been helping out so many others these days. That's because sometimes the best way to help yourself is to help someone else. And I actually feel that. You know what it is? I definitely made a lot of progress as a person and within, because I feel like I feel like I was a little bit of a cocky little shit, especially when I was like in my 20s and everything, and in my teenage years. But that's also because I feel like I didn't really have any guidance. I had the family there, but I don't feel like I had the proper guidance. I feel like I had too many people around me, family specifically, that they thought they knew what was better for me than I did in my own head. I feel like I kind of felt like I was just going life about like, I just wish that somebody would just wave a magic wand and, like keep on saying your prayers and hoping that, God is actually a genie and he'll grant you 3 wishes and all this kind of stuff. And you just got to have patience and everything, but it doesn't work that way. I mean, I wanted all of these things and have these delusions of grandeur, but thinking that, it could just happen within the snap of a finger or whatever, and now actually wanted to put in the work. Or I didn't think I was even smart enough to realize that the signs were all there right then and then. Yeah. So as I got humbled over time in life, I realized that, I got to stop thinking so much about me, even though it's kind of weird. Like I'm right on the cusp right now where like I love helping people out, but I also have to watch out for my own peace as well, because there was a time where I just cared about myself and nobody else. Like, fuck the rest of the world. It's me against the world.
What caused that, you think?
Honestly, I think it was my father, because my father, he was a very angry and stressed individual. Yeah. And I don't think that he had any proper guidance either. Like, I know that he didn't have a father. Generational. Yeah, I don't think he had a father growing up himself. So he basically had to learn things on the go, and I think over time it kind of made him bitter, and he didn't want to have accountability in certain things and so on and so forth. One of those. And then, I got you. And then I feel like once I started to finally live with him and we were under the same roof, I noticed all these intricacies that I was very similar to it, and I didn't like it. It was like looking in, I don't want to say a mirror, but it looked like if I was stepping into in the future, like this is what's going to happen. And the fact
if you don't change it,
right. And it also didn't help that I look exactly like him. So yeah, it was definitely a spitting image, not just physically, but also everything else in between. So I think that over time, as I got humbled and I just had probably like the worst week of my life back in 2011, it really knocked down everything that had built me up prior. Yeah. And then afterwards I had to build up from the foundation, and I learned all the mistakes and all the things that I needed to clean up, and also take in some of the good stuff, because I did have some good values and manners and stuff like that. So I basically had to blend it all in. And then here's the tricky part. So then it it got to a point where I was caring about myself, and then afterwards I started worrying about everybody else, and I was completely selfless, and I put everybody else before me, and then I noticed that people were taking advantage of that. They looked at it as a sign of weakness, like
you were too far to the left, too far to the right.
Exactly. So now it's to the point where I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle now. Every now and then I might teeter to this side and that side, but I think it's much more improved compared to how it was.
You human.
Yeah.
You human. I already know, bro.
At the end of the day, I'm just a guy,
Yeah, bro. Yo, man. It's funny that you say that about your pops, because I had that realization last year. I had got to actually live with my pops for a little while, just to be under his roof, just to be around him more. And the similarity part you talked about, it's the same thing with me. And I was kind of like, damn, like I'm a junior, by the way, too. Okay. So just being around my dad, I'm like, yeah, we too much alike. And I'm like, but it's an honor. It's an honor to come from a man like that. My shout out to my pops, man. He's a great man in his world, man. And he taught me a lot of great things in his world. I got raised by the village, raised by my parents. Not both of them, but at the same time. But
right.
In and out of just periodically, I would see my dad, and my dad was always present, but we just didn't live together. But shout out to my pops, man. The greatest man I know, man. Strongest awesome. Man I know. Strongest.
Awesome, He's made you into the strong gentleman that you are now.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
It's the bloodline, bro. it's the Shepherd, bro. It's the Shepherd bloodline, man. And yeah, man. Shout out to the family. Shout out to the family. Yeah.
Now, was your love of football at a very early age? I mean, you said obviously you that was basically, you looked at it as a way out, based on the environment that you were surrounded in. But I'm talking about like from pure fandom. Like watching the NFL and watching college and so on and so forth. Like, was that also very early on, or were you just more focused in playing your game as opposed to just, taking it all in as a real football fan?
So football is part of my bloodline. Like, my family is athletes. Like, we all breed athletes. And when I was a kid, you know how like divine intervention happens where like you're with someone and they just start playing something, they start doing something, and then they unlock something that was already in you. Yeah, that was what happened with football with me. Like one of my big bros, Rich Burke. Shout out to Rich Burke. He played football. We played football one day right in the projects, and he said, "Yo, come play football with us." I'm a small kid, never played it before. But he made sure he hit me hard as hell when he hit me. He gave me my first welcome to the big kids hit. That's what we call it.
Oh shit!
And I got ripped. I was crying and everything. But I loved the sport after that. I just started playing after that, and I was about 7 years old when I first started playing. 8 years old when I first joined the actual football team. Shout out to the Passaic Chiefs. Shout out to my brother Henry Rose, Hank, all the coaches out there. Shout out to all y'all. And that's when I played my first season back in 2004. For the Passaic Chiefs, and from there everything was just football. I found something and I loved it, and then that rest was history after that.
Yeah. Did you have any aspirations of getting into the NFL or playing professionally?
I did like everyone else, but I got older and I started just being more realistic with myself, understanding the metric system, understanding the percentage, understanding where I'm from, understanding the leverage that I had none. Like, for me to make it, I will have to be undrafted, crazy bottom pick somewhere, like, or whatever. Like, or it's either one of the two. But it's funny enough, during COVID, I was actually going to do the regional combine. I was going to pay for it.
Oh, wow.
Go out to Baltimore or Philly, wherever they had it at, and do the regional combine. But COVID happened, so they shut it down. But in that same time frame, I was already on my purpose of speaking, so I felt like that was a sign for me to just focus on that wholeheartedly. So I retired.
Yeah. Now, when that happened, let's just stay there for a little bit. So when that happened, because you're human, I feel like everybody has gone through this in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. But did you feel discouraged, or did you feel more encouraged about what the future is going to bring you?
I felt more and more encouraged in what the future was going to bring me. However, I will say this: the only time I felt discouraged about football was when I finished college.
I see.
So back in 2017, when I finished my last semester, I'm sitting in my grandfather's apartment by myself. He was in a nursing home at the time. I had to hold the house down. And it was the first time in my life I did not know what to do. Because all I knew was football.
Right. And no, listen, I've been there before. Like, I know, I think it's actually more common than people realize because, there's people that they go to school and, they go for what they study and then afterwards they become that, this, that, and the fourth. But, that's kind of similar with me too, because I remember when I was younger, when I was a kid, I wanted to direct movies. And now I'm kind of doing that right now, but that's neither here nor there. And then there was somewhere in between my teenage years and my early 20s where I wanted to do music. And the thing is, that's all I wanted to focus on. These are the only things that I focused on. I didn't have any contingency plans. I didn't even think I wasn't even considering college, and that's also where the lack of guidance comes from because I pretty early on, I remember a family member saying that, you know what, Jason, at this point, you might as well drop out of high school. So they weren't even thinking that college was feasible for me. So, but anyway, but I just had these things where I just only wanted to do that and nothing else. I had no contingency plans. And then when they didn't work out, then I'm asked out like, okay, now what do I do? Like I was in the wilderness. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I was doing all these crazy odd jobs. I thought I wanted to be in the medical field. I thought I wanted to do this. I wanted to do that. I wanted to be in the radio business at one point and, just a whole bunch of stuff that just didn't work out. Yeah. And I felt like, what the hell am I going to do? I can't, keep on staying with my parents this whole time. And I can't work these dead end jobs that's barely living paycheck to paycheck. Right. I gotta, and then social media didn't help because I'm looking at all these people that I went to school with, and they're doing much better than me in life, and that
always
gets
gonna
me,
show them wins. They always gonna show them wins
exactly.
to make you feel discouraged.
Yeah, but I didn't realize that at the time because I'm still a newbie when it comes to social media and everything. Yeah. And I didn't realize that until I got older that they're only gonna show you the good parts. Like, yeah, you might have a beautiful wife and kids and everything, but what about the times where she's fucking annoying you?
Yep.
She's not. Yep. They're not gonna post that.
They always show highlights, no lowlights. You know? Or even that, like being transparent. Like transparency and honesty in your post says a lot. You don't have to really pretty much show your failures, but you can talk about them. Like speak about the times you failed. Draw a perspective and give people the other side rather than one side. I always say life is all balance. As above, so below. You have to always find a medium ground in this life we live, man, because when you're too one-sided, everything is skewed. That means the energy goes that way, which this is the reason why like people have that comparison syndrome thing, because all we're doing is looking at highlights all day.
Oh, yeah.
And that pretty much makes us spoiled. Our eyes and our brain is spoiled based on the success we see. We're overstimulated with other people's success and success period, that when failure comes, we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And we don't know what to do.
We're now in an age now where somebody's gonna have a bad day because their best friend didn't like a post of theirs.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. And believe it or not, we've all been there where like, damn, nobody ain't support. I've caught myself doing that before. But at this point in my life, it's like whoever's here is here and they're supposed to be here. Whoever ain't here. And that's fine. It's all about who's there and ain't about who ain't there.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I always try to tell people that, like, don't worry about nobody else who ain't really there to gather what you're putting down. And if they ain't, don't hate them for that. Don't be like, I got haters. That's another thing. People create imaginary haters.
Yes.
How you gonna create a hater out of thin air and they don't even know who you are? I got haters, or they probably never tapped into your content. You calling them a hater because they never saw it. It's like, hey, and truth be told, your content might be trash to that person, so they probably don't like it. Doesn't mean they're not. Doesn't mean they're a hater though.
Or it's too much. Like
too much.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, listen, I love chocolate, but I'm not gonna eat that shit every single day.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Like for me, like it's funny. I'm gonna pinpoint something. Like for me, I'm the motivational guy, right?
Yeah.
So by default, there's people that look at me like I'm full of it because I'm always just spewing positivity and motivation.
Yeah, I'll let you finish your point, but okay, no, because I'm actually glad that you said that, because that was another thing that, I'm not gonna lie to you, in the beginning that kind of crossed my mind, but that's only because I didn't know you. I only knew you from a distance.
Right.
But as I got to do a little bit more research on you and see that actually in your eyes, and also from your actions, because I'm a guy that believes that actions are always going to speak louder than words. Always. I know that there's some people out there that are going to say like, no, words do matter. They hurt. They never. Yeah, they do. Nobody's saying that words don't matter at all. It's just I feel like actions will have a little bit more validity to it, because listen, you could lie with words.
That's a fact.
You can make up whatever you want with words, but your actions are never going to bullshit me as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
But going back to what you were mentioning before about like being overly positive and everything, because I did speak about this on a previous episode before, where I felt like there's like a Kevin Hart, for example. I feel like somebody like Kevin Hart is, sometimes, including me, there's people out there that think that he's overly positive to the point where it just feels like he's just doing it because it's his brand. I mean, does he really necessarily care about all this positivity and uplifting people up? That's not the sense that I get from you. Maybe there's some truth to it behind Kevin Hart, but it's now become a brand, like this is what he's known for, and this is what's going to get him.
He's a multimillionaire who's in the industry, so he has to uphold that image whether he wants to or not.
Right, exactly.
Different stipulations.
And he'll still get crucified if he has his human moments where he steps goes behind his wife's back or something like that,
Yeah, bro. And that's what I'm saying. Like, for me, like, most people look at me and they like, oh, this dude's too positive, so he must be full of it, or he must be this. But
he's doing it to get clout. I'm doing social media.
Nah, it's never no clout, man.
Right. I'm not. No, I don't get that sense from you.
No, I know.
But there are people out there that are like that.
There's people who actually. I know there's people who think that about me. But the thing is that
there's actually people that do it strictly for that. That's my point.
Exactly. They do it just for the clout. My thing is this is purpose first. You feel me?
Yeah.
Everything is purpose driven. So my thing is I do my best to try to say to people, meet me. Talk to me in person. Feel my energy.
Yep.
You feel what I'm saying? Because they don't lie.
Right.
The energy don't lie. You can look in my eyes and see facts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
When I talk to people, I look them in their eyes and I let them feel my energy, so you know that this not no mumbo jumbo stuff. It's more like, listen, I come from the real stuff and I'm not about to sugarcoat it. And the thing is, it's coming off positive because I have a good heart.
Yep.
You know what I mean? My heart is my everything. I always tell people, man, like, if you have a good heart, don't ever hide that. Don't ever hide the fact that you have a loving, caring heart for humanity. And it's hard to believe that there's people in the world who really care about others. People have a trust issue with someone who cares.
Yeah.
They don't allow their heart to be full or open to being receptive to real, genuine vibes and love from a person. And I think that shuns people off from blessings. That shuns people off from receiving their wife or husband, whichever, whatever you want to call it. I just know that for me, man, like, my positivity ironically came from pain.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? The pain is turned into power after that. And the power turns into positivity. And I just try to tell people, man, if you went through something, man, you don't bleed on nobody. If you got cut up in some war that you've been through in your life, don't try to bleed on people. And if you do accidentally, apologize, hold yourself accountable, and prevent that from happening again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's actually a big thing that I've learned over the years as well, is accountability. As I mentioned before.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I'm the type of person, I'll be straight up with you. In my circle of friends, more often than not, I'm kind of known as the asshole, because I like to joke around and I do this and that, and sometimes I may go a little bit too far, or I have trouble reading the room. That's one of my flaws, unfortunately. But I'm the type of person that I will always apologize and take accountability if I take it too far, or if I say the wrong thing and this, that, and the third. Yeah. But I feel like there's a lot of people that, I'm thank God I'm not like this, but there's gaslighting the hell out of you just so that they could protect their aura or their quote unquote peace, but
which is really ego.
Yeah, that's all it is.
It's all ego.
Yeah.
Bruised ego at that.
Bruised ego, yeah.
Yeah, man. Accountability is a big thing in the world, because that's the first step to fixing whatever issue there is. When you hold yourself accountable, you're literally acknowledging. You're acting on the knowledge, etymology, act, knowledge, act, knowledge. You're acting on the knowledge that you have to make a situation better. So I always tell people, man, acknowledge the fact that you've done what you've done, hold yourself accountable, move on, or find a way that's going to be conducive for the next move you make, so it won't happen again. And if it does, hold yourself accountable again. Like, it's that simple. But I think the ego allows the accountability not to come out. The ego, the pride, the not wanting to be wrong. Like, I'm wrong all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I know what I know, but I don't know what I don't know. I always tell people that, listen, you know what you know, you don't know what you don't know, or you know what you don't know, or you don't know what you don't know. So find out that you're wrong, admit when you're wrong, hold yourself accountable for being wrong for the actions or words or whatever energy you have, and just pay it forward after that. Do what you got to do to fix that. Regulate
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Round of applause real quick, Steve. Thank you so much for those words, bro. Now, excuse me. Now this, Steve, this camera's looking at him right now, right? The one that I'm pointing at? All right. I want you to do me a favor real quick.
What's up, brother?
So we were talking earlier about wins and losses.
Yes.
I want you to do me a favor and look in this camera right here, and I want you to say it because I think that you'll do it more justice. This amazing quote that you have about 2 L's.
Okay, so
the floor is yours.
Yeah, that line, man, that came from, I don't know, I channeled that out of nowhere and it just hit me. Because one day I was just, sitting and I'm looking at my hands and I'm talking about you gotta take L's, and then all I did was put my hands like this. I did literally this, and I realized that this symbolizes a W. But guess what this is? This is 2 L's, right?
Yep.
So you got 2 L's, 2 W's, right? First you lose, then you learn after you lose, then you win after you learn and lose, then you gain wisdom after you win, lose, and learn. And that's why I created 2 L's, 2 W's. Because at the end of the day, you ain't really losing, you really winning.
Yeah.
The bigger picture is the W, which is the wisdom, the win. You never losing. Even through a loss, you're winning. Because this is one half of that W, then the lesson is the other half of that W, then we put it together.
That is fire, man.
And that right there is literally how I look at life. So when I'm going through a hardship, I know, oh my God, a lesson is coming my way. So I'm excited about the loss because I'm excited about the lesson. And I'm way more excited about the lesson and loss because I know the win is coming. And I'm way more ecstatic about the loss, the lesson, and the win because I know the wisdom is coming. And the wisdom is what's going to carry you through life, right?
Yep.
Going through life and knowing like, yo, I just took this L, these 2 L's, and I won after that, and I got wisdom. I lived it. Wisdom is living through an experience and gathering the knowledge through that. That's what that is. And if you're able to be wisdom filled and teach it and convey it and contextualize it, then the world is going to thank you for that. The world, the universe is going to pay you back tenfold for spreading your wisdom and your knowledge around.
I love that, man. And I know that you said that on a previous podcast.
Yeah.
But the reason that I wanted you to bring it up is because at the same time, I actually want to thank you because when I saw that probably came at a time that I needed it, and it was when I was at my most vulnerable. And then when I just happened to scroll on social media and I saw that, I feel like that just really, clicked a light in there for me, and it made me realize that, wow, that makes so much sense, and I've never seen anybody, contextualize it that way, and it just came at the perfect time when I was, in a state of mind where I was not doing so great, and like I said, the reason that I brought that up is because I wanted to share with the audience, but most importantly, I wanted to say thank you because that quote right there came at the least expected time, but it was what it was necessary. So much appreciated. So thank you for that. And I think that really helped me to get over what I needed to go through, what I was going through at the time. And that's just also proof right there that you never know who's watching. You never know who's looking. I was watching, I was looking, it helped me. So thank you. I really appreciate that.
And that right there is that's a step forward in life because you just being receptive to the message, bro. You're doing God's work right there because you're being receptive to the wisdom that's being spilled out. Don't matter if you're 9 years older than me. It don't matter about none of that. You can learn from anyone. I learned from cats and dogs. I learned from babies. If you can learn from anything. I learned from looking at stuff. I learned from inanimate objects. You can learn anything. All you have to do is look at something and be like, think deeper on why it's there. What is this for? Damn, it's a speaker. That means it's literally, a speaker is literally made to feed me sound waves.
Mm-hmm.
Look at your ears. Your ears are open,
Yep.
which means it serves as another what?
Another purpose.
Another mouth. You consume wisdom. You consume words. You consume music. You consume people talking. You have this mouth, then you have these mouths right here. And inside that, you have your brain, which is your other stomach. Why you think they say I have a gut feeling about things? That's your your gut feeling. And you receive things in your gut anyway. Food from this mouth. So you receive food in this mouth going to this stomach, and you receive food in these mouths going to this stomach.
Wow.
So you got to understand everything is interconnected. That has a purpose for feeding me something. This has a purpose for feeding me something. Because what I'm doing, I'm speaking from my mouth into this, and people are listening. People are looking. The cameras have a purpose. Everything around us have a purpose. So that's why I say, like, I just be looking at things. I'm like, yo, why is it a camera a camera? Why is a speaker a speaker? Why is a door a door? You know, you walk out this door, there's going to be energy, a different type of energy out there. That's a different portal right there, right outside this room. In that studio he's sitting in right now, there's different energy in there. In this chair, and to that chair is different energy. So you got to be very aware of the things that you're around. You know what I mean? And that's why I look at things the way I look at it. That's just me though, you know. And my thing is to get. I'm just here to make people think a little deeper than the surface, because this generation, as we know, way too surface based. That they don't like going like. All right, it's one thing to be surface based, but it's like people don't even like getting deep no more. Think about that.
Yeah.
You ever talk to a lady or a person or just one of your boys and you trying to talk about something deep and you like, man, I can't even talk to this person, man. Like, I can't even talk to them.
They're basically a cynic.
It's like, not even that. It's just like, yo, you a bot. Like, you a bot on this planet. You know NPCs. You know in the video games, NPCs. We got those in there. We got these in the world.
Oh, yeah.
So when you talking to them, you realize, damn, like, that person don't know what purpose is yet. Not saying they won't ever find it, because they will. But right now, the person you're talking to is way too shallow for your depthness.
Wow.
So that's why it's good to find your people. Find the people that you connect with most. Make that tribe of yours and connect and build. Life is all about elevation, bro.
Yeah. Steve, please drop all the bombs, drop all the sound effects right there, because I don't think there's anybody. This is episode 108. I don't think anybody has dropped as much gems as you did in this one episode, man. Wow. I'm kind of at a loss for words, and you actually just opened my mind to a lot of things that I didn't realize. And I don't know. I think going forward, you know, for a little bit here or there, I think I'm gonna. I think I'm really gonna look at things in a much brighter light, I should say. I don't want to say different light. I think a brighter light. Man,
listen, I think it was the therapy I went through today. I had a therapy session, and I think it opened a lot of doors for me internally, because, you know, we all go through things, and it's funny because I know a lot of people never thought that, but yeah, I'm looking in the camera. Yeah, I definitely got therapists. I go to therapy. You're supposed to go to therapy if you want to become your best self. Fix yourself if you want to become your best self. Don't ever hide from the fact that you might be damaged on the inside. You know, right. Don't ever hide from the fact that you have trauma, you have PTSD, which I do have. That's true. That's all true story. But I'm holding myself accountable for it.
Yes.
I'm holding myself accountable to make that change, to help myself. Because I know my mom and my pops couldn't really do as much as I'm doing now, because their circumstances were a little bit more different than mine. We got a little bit more resources nowadays. We can channel our emotions and our energy in mad different avenues now. They didn't have many avenues back in the day like that.
Right.
So being that is the case, I'm just doing all the work that I can do to help my family, my bloodline. That's where it starts at, like the foundation, the family, the things that I know me and my family have went through. You know, I've always prided myself on the importance of family, and I'm walking the road alone because I know that it's going to take me, along with other people, not saying it's only me because no man is an island, but me doing what I have to do to help people out, and eventually, ultimately help the world. I have one more thing to say. I forget.
Of course, yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say this, like, dude, like, you have siblings, right?
Yeah.
How many?
It's me. There's 3 of us. I'm the oldest, and then I have a brother and a sister.
All right. Do you feel like you were the black sheep?
Oh, all the time. Steve knows this. Like, I always refer to myself as the black sheep.
All right, so you feel like you're breaking a lot of barriers right now, right, in your life, right? Being that you're doing this, being that you have a lot of things going for yourself. I know you do. And
you're not wrong.
Right. And I had this thought, very interesting, deep thought. You ever think about you are your parents? You are literally the on-time version of your parents. I'm gonna let that sink.
Yeah, I think I know what you're trying to say, but I feel like I definitely got to let it sink.
1 minute. All right.
Yeah.
So what I mean by this is, like,
elaborate. Yeah.
You were born in 1985, right?
86.
86. Okay. 86. Somewhere your mom and your pops was daydreaming and wishing they were in a situation in their life, and they might have not have materialized it or actualized it in their lifetime, but you were born.
So basically living vicariously through them.
You are them. You're just the on-time version of them to do what they probably wish they can do.
Holy shit. Wow. Well, yeah. I just dropped a fucking huge bomb on me right there. Jesus Christ. This is not just for show. I'm really at a loss for words right now. As a guy that likes to fucking talk a lot, I'm at a loss for words right now.
But I say that because that's something I think about. Like, I'm like, damn, like, if I'm breaking barriers and cycles and I'm doing all this work, inner work, this is something that I know my parents wish they could have done.
That does make sense, and
you feel me? Like,
absolutely,
that's the way I think. Like, you know, like
that I could definitely coexist with you on that for sure.
Yeah, bro, and I say that because, like, a lot of people don't tend to think that deep and realize, like, yo, the people who are generational cycle breakers. Shout out to my big bro Eddie, the GTBs. That's what we call it, generational trauma breakers. That's what we call it.
I like that name.
He brought that to my attention one time. Not that what I just said, but the GTBs. Like, he brought that there.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking that thought, like, wow, wait, like, if I am both of my parents put together, you are too.
Yeah.
But I'm just living in this realm, like 2023 now. Then, damn, wait. Everything that they wanted to do, that's the reason why I came out this way. Damn. That's why I came out so determined. That's why I'm not subjecting myself to destitution. That's why I'm not repeating the same thing. Wait. I ain't here to play games.
Yeah.
You ain't here to play games, Jay.
No.
No game. None. No games. You ain't here to play 0 games, dude. So in that's reasons why you stand out, which is why you're like the black sheep, which is why we're black sheeps in our family, because we know we were born with an object purpose.
Wow. I'm really at a loss for words, man. Oh, shit. This is one of those episodes that's going to be evergreen for me going forward.
Listen, we got to put the golden star on this one. Got to put the golden asterisk right next to the, but
yeah,
man.
Oh, it's definitely verified. Bro. gotta put the blue check on there, kind of like on your T-shirt right there, which is actually a nice segue. I know you got a little merch go out there, and I actually need to cop one of them. But why don't you tell everybody about Verified in Real Life?
Okay, so I don't know if they can see it right here, but Verified in Real Life.
Yep.
This is a T-shirt that I created. I came out with this T-shirt during the time of when the verification frenzy was going on.
I remember that. I gotta pay $15 for this shit.
You gotta pay $15 for the verification. Look, at the end of the day, rightfully so, if you a business person and you trying to look the part, I get it.
Yeah. I'm not.
However, there's another side to it, which has validation attached to it, right? And I know a lot of people who have that or don't have it, if you will. They feel as though that they're not validated or they have no validity to what they're doing or what they're doing has no validity to it. This shirt is literally a simple reminder that you are verified in real life before this blue check even existed.
Yeah.
You were born, real person, real birth certificate, real everything. That means you verified. You are a verified human. If you can have an effect on a person as a human, you are verified.
Round of applause real quick, Steve. Man, thank you so much for that, man.
So the shirt is like, and people might look at it as a passive aggressive saying. Take it for how you want it.
I never thought that. And whoever thinks that, don't kick rocks.
Yeah, but for me, it's more of a positive term. Like, listen, before you try to get a blue check, just know you are the blue check. You the blue check before the blue check even existed.
Yeah.
So don't ever go around thinking you need this. You don't need this. Funny story, I have my brother, Giovanni Paolo. If y'all know him on Instagram, follow him. That's my brother right there. Real big. He's big time on Instagram.
All right, I'm going to follow him for sure.
Yeah, he makes the funny skits. You ever seen the funny skits?
Probably.
Yeah, Peruvian dude. It's my brother.
Probably. I'm terrible with names. I got to see their faces.
And we have these talks all the time about this.
Steve probably knows him. He's Peruvian.
Yeah, he probably know him. He be like, yo, Speedy, you going to get the check? I'm like, dog, you know I'm not getting no check. He like, nah, me neither, man. And I'm like, why? Like, what's your reasoning? And he has about 200 and something K followers. I'm talking about he's always on World Star. Like, they always repost his stuff.
Okay.
Millions and millions and millions and millions of views that his videos make. And he was like, look, man, like, I feel like it takes from the authenticity of who I am if I get that. I feel like I'll become a more shallow version of myself if I get something like that. Like, kind of like selling out.
Literally selling
and
out.
I looked at him. I paused. And I said, give me a hug, bro. That's what I said. I said, give me a hug, bro. And I gave him a hug because for him to be on that level, but to still keep his mindset that sharp and understand the nuances to it, it says a lot about his character, how solid of a dude he is. So I applaud my brother Gio, man. Like, he's a great dude, man. Shout out to Gio. Everybody go follow him. If y'all want to laugh at some funny skits, if y'all want to crack up, go search him up on Instagram, man. He'll make your whole entire month.
And this actually goes back to what we were saying earlier.
Yeah.
Actions over words.
Actions over words, bro.
Or in this case, actions over a wallet or a Visa card.
Word up. I got Visa. I ain't got. That's all I got. I got Visa. Yeah.
Yeah. So you actually said something that I wanted to touch on a little bit about how you said how I got a lot of things going on for me, and it's a lot, but
yes.
Yeah, I don't know if thriving was the word that you used, but we'll just go for that for it. One of the things that I was dealing with not long ago in the beginning, especially when I first started the podcast way back almost 2 years ago now, I feel like I had to be careful who I was building anything with, because I was afraid that there were going to be people out there that would use my foundation and then build it with somebody else or other people. So, I mean, like, what would you say as far as like somebody that has that mindset currently and previously, me,
of being afraid of people using?
Yeah, because it's like it was a situation where, like, people were supportive and everything, but they weren't really going all out to support, the way that you feel like the family and friends would do. But that sometimes you gotta just kind of lower the expectations of everybody, because not everybody has the same expectations as you. But when they start to see you get a little bit of attraction, then afterwards they come all out of the woodwork and this, that, and the third. Right. But then afterwards, some of them will come around and they'll try to build from where your foundation was, and then afterwards they'll knock you down, and then afterwards they'll build that foundation into a structure with other people.
Okay. So what you're saying is building a foundation, you building it more specifically.
Yeah.
People not really being that supportive like that. But then once you gain that traction and you start taking off, people want to come and just be culture vultures. They take from you. They don't support you, and they take from what you've made and make it their own. Is that what you're asking?
Yes, with other people.
With other people.
Yeah.
I will say this, and this is, I don't know how you're gonna feel about this, but no idea is original.
Mm-hmm.
You listen to Nas, right?
Nas is my favorite rapper of all time.
So you know the song "No Idea"
on the Lost Tapes.
Is original. Yeah, on the Lost Tapes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. Like he said it, no idea is original. There's nothing new under the sun. It's never what you do, but how it's done. Mm-hmm. That right there is just tell you a lot. And I have another quote. Good artist copy, great artist steal. Or great artist copy, good artist steal.
Mm-hmm.
There's this thing that I know about in this world that is very, very true, man. And a lot of people are transactional. I don't know why people are transactional, but it's the way of this self-centered society we live in that it creates a self-centeredness and your transactionalness, whatever you want to call it, transactionalness. When people see what's hot, they want to get on.
Mm.
People don't have the wherewithal to see things from afar. They can't see like, yo, Jay, you gonna be something special. Because I know this. Like, this is only the beginning.
Mm.
Like, this for you is only the beginning. I can see that.
And I appreciate that, but the only thing that I want to counter, and I don't want this to be an argument or anything, why do I feel like while you may see it, and this person may see it, and other people may see it, how come I still feel that doubt within myself? Or why do I feel like I'm not worthy of these accolades that I get from other people?
There can be a bunch of factors to that.
Like sometimes I think to myself, what the hell did I really do in order to get all this praise that everybody seems to be giving me? Like it's very hard for me to
accept it.
Yeah. Is it me being afraid of, creating that ego again that I would try to shed so many years ago when I was 20?
That too. I think you just answered your own question.
Probably, yeah.
So it goes back to what we were saying about purpose, right? You were too far to the left, too far to the right. You found the medium. Now you're actually, it's funny, you're being initiated into being a teacher.
Think so?
Sure.
Wow.
No doubt about it. Your initiation is happening right now. So, but you've been a student for so long that you're not privy or used to the energy of being a teacher yet.
No, at least not yet.
Not yet. But with the world and how it works, you're gonna be forced to be that. Like I've went through this before. Damn. I didn't even know how to speak like this before. I was in special ed class when I was a kid, growing all my life. Mm-hmm. Nobody would have no idea about it because of how much I worked on myself. So I always say things like, I was a student all my life. I'm still a student now. It don't end because teachers are students still.
Yeah.
They just have what it takes to actually teach now. So with you, the praise that you get from the accolades and the milestones you hit, it's kind of like a little cringy too. I know it is. I know it's very cringy because you might not know if that person really means what they say. You might think like, damn, is it really like that? Now you got to really sit there and ponder on what you've done. But like I told you before, you are the on-time version of your parents. You should not be surprised about the greatness that you have. You should not be surprised about the greatness you give out to the world. You should not be surprised about all of this and all this stuff you got here. Why be surprised? Why feel like it's something that it's yours, dog? You created this, not me. You did. This came from your own inner self saying, yo, I'm gonna create this. Better be proud of it. You don't gotta be braggadocious like you used to be, like you said. Yeah. But all you gotta do is embrace the fact that you really are in a position where you leveled yourself out as a man and you saying like, yo, I got what it takes to be a teacher and a student. I'm not as egotistical as I used to be. And I'm not as non-confident as I am before, like I was before. No, be confident in yourself but be humble at the same time. It's a balance. That's how I look at it. Did I answer your question honestly?
Not only do you answer my question, man, but you got me kind of emotional right now. I'm trying to hold back my emotions a little bit.
Sorry,
but
bro.
Yeah.
Listen, man, listen.
Yeah.
With me, it's always going to be therapy, man. You know what I mean? And it's good, bro, because I understand the disposition you're in. Because Believe it or not, I go through the same thing. Sometimes I can't believe the power that I have. But then I sit there and I say to myself, and we all powerful. Everybody got power and unique power, I may add, to them. And we are loved by our unique powers. You are loved by many people for what you have, bro. Like, think about it. People like well done steak. People like medium rare.
Yeah.
You feel me? It's still steak. We still human. They just love different humans. Yeah. People just love different humans, just like they love different steaks.
Yeah. Yeah, by the way, I needed that laugh, man, because it would have stopped me from crying too, man.
It's all good, bro. Yeah, you gotta mix the medicine with the food, man. Yo, man. I love this, man. You know, this is what it's about. It's about building one another, bro. And that's another thing with coaching. Like, it's the same thing, bro. You know, coaching. Yeah. Coaching. I love coaching. I'm a life coach, you know? That's how I look at myself, a life coach. I'm a coach in real life, all of that, man. And it's great. It's great, bro.
Guess what? Put me in, coach. I'm ready.
Yo, come on, bro. Let booby spin. Yeah. Let booby spin. Yeah, bro.
Yeah. Bro. Yeah, I don't think I can top off anything with that, man. I feel like I know I wanted to have a conversation with you and, you know, introduce you to my audience, and I was really looking forward to meeting you in person, because I love everything that you do on social media and everything that I've been consuming about you. And also when we talked a couple of times on the phone, I knew that this was going to be great, man. But I didn't think that I would actually be enlightened for the first time in a long time for the show, and I'm at a loss for words, man. I just want to say thank you, because I think that I really needed to hear those things more than I realize. Excuse me.
Listen, it's an honor to be that person to give that to you, bro, because at the end of the day, and that's why, like I say, it's very important to acknowledge, because you never know like what someone's going through. You never know what fight they're fighting. Be kind, be thoughtful, act on the knowledge that you have of a person and their circumstances, whether you know them or not. You can feel somebody's vibe out. Mm-hmm. You can feel all of that out. And what you do is you say to yourself, whether or not they receive it or not, give it to them. Give them the wisdom or the acknowledgement that they deserve. Everybody deserves acknowledgement. Everybody. Mm. Nobody is not worthy of acknowledgement, bro. In this world, anybody or anything. You acknowledge dogs, you acknowledge cats, you acknowledge babies, and it's funny how in human nature we don't even acknowledge each other purposely out of ignorance. We sit here as humans and don't acknowledge each other, and we're the ones that gotta control the world. Think about it.
Yeah,
humans run the world, but we go against each other by not acknowledging each other, by not seeing each other. Like, yo, I see you, bro. Yo, Jay, I see you, bro. You keep the grind up, dog. Feel me? Keep it going. You doing what you got to do. You on the right path. Don't ever think you not. You doing what you got to do. Bump the criticism. Bump the fear. Bump the doubts. Bump the do I deserve to be here? You deserve to be here. Because if you didn't deserve to be here, you would not be here right now in real time.
Thank you, bro.
Come on, bro.
Thank you, man.
You can any last questions you like to ask me, I'll answer anything, bro. You know, anything.
Well, I got plenty. I don't think we have enough time on the show, but that doesn't mean anything, because at the end of the day, we got each other's phone numbers, we got each other's social medias. We're always gonna keep in contact.
Locked in, bro.
Yeah, we locked in for sure, man.
Locked in.
Yeah, man. But Speedy,
yo,
man,
you know, I'm real quick. You know what I was thinking about just now? Like,
what's up?
You ever thought about doing call-ins?
Steve,
what happened, Steve?
You know, we've talked about this.
Yeah.
We talked about this.
Yo, that'd be dope. That'd be dope. Call-ins, man.
Yeah.
We might look. It's on air. We might have to make that happen. You heard? We gotta live by our words, bro.
Yeah, we could talk to Marv. Bravery up.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, Speedy, again, man, I can't thank you enough for this conversation, and thank you for coming through here on First Class, second place.
Thank
really
you for
appreciate it, man. We appreciate you more than you realize,
yes,
man.
Sir.
Yeah. But before we go, I just have one more question that I want to ask. We ask everybody that comes onto the show just to add in on positive spin, and I take it like you're a movie guy like me and everything. So this is just a little fun, have fun with it kind of question at the end of the day. So, wow. So you, Speedy Sheppard.
Yeah.
If Hollywood were to make a movie on your life, and what a great fucking movie I think it would be, which actor would you like to see portray your character and why?
That's a deep question. I like that. An actor who will play my life.
Yeah. Somebody that you admire, you feel that they could play your character to the best of their ability. No right or wrong answer.
Oh, man. My brother Daylight.
Daylight.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a battle rapper.
Okay.
And that's my brother. You know what I mean? Shout out to you, Daylight, bro. You helped me in many ways, more than you know. I was just on the phone with him yesterday, chopping him about life and stuff like that. Famous dude too. He's very big in the battle rap community. I think he is the best battle rapper in the world. I don't care what nobody say.
Okay.
But me and him come from similar backgrounds, and he's from Cali, by the way. But him to portray me would be like looking at myself, because literally it's like parallels. Like it's literally almost the same, and the way he thinks, the way he speaks, the way his mind can go deep about things, the way he can channel the knowledge and wisdom, and the way he can, like, all of that, the way he carries himself, that would be like the perfect person.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And yeah.
I would have said Wale, but we'll roll with that.
Wale? Wale. Nah, shout out to Wale too.
Yeah.
Another person I would substitute for Daylight is D Rose, Derrick Rose.
There you go. Oh, I love that one. Yeah, D Rose is good, man.
I would put him in there. Like, if it wasn't Daylight, it would be him. You know what I mean?
On short call list.
Yeah. For sure.
I love it, man.
Yeah,
all right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this episode of First Class, Second Place. Thank you so much, Speedy. Really appreciate it.
Yo, my brother.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
anybody else you want to give a shout out to before we close out?
Oh, man. Shout out to everyone who's in my life, who I love. My beautiful family, my beautiful fiance, Maria. I love you. Just everybody. All my brothers, my sisters. Everybody out there that, who's been shout out to all my mentors too. All my mentors, I have many. I can't even name them all, but shout out to all my mentors. If you don't have mentors, get them. Get many mentors, as much as you can, because mentors serve as guides in your life to get you to next levels, right? So always keep that in your brain. Shout out to you.
Thank you, bro.
Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to
you
you for having this platform for me to speak my truth on. Shout out to you for doing great things for the community, bro. And shout out to the world, man. Shout out to everybody out there watching, tuning in. First Class, Second Place. Like, we out here, bro. Let's go, baby.
Thank you. And before we go, I also want to say that I would love to dedicate this episode to a dear friend that passed away very recently. Shout out to Marcus Montgomery and his family. We love you very much. Rest in peace. And, my condolences to the family. We love y'all. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it. You can find me at Enrique _ on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, all social media platforms. Don't forget to like, subscribe on YouTube at First Class, Second Place. We out.
Yes, sir.